Roachili, Tame an Ahas, a bay an Shocking News, Ag an Ach Tawachta, August Star Ruido. Mayors, ladies and gentlemen, you're all very welcome here today. You're all very welcome to the launch of the International Association of the O'Neill Clans. And what more relevant location could be found in the whole of Ireland than the hill of the O'Neill, resurrected in its full splendour by the efforts of South Tyrone Borough Council. The O'Neills were not as welcome when they came here to this hill 800 years ago, nor did Hugh O'Neill believe when he left here in 1607 that it would be another 400 years until O'Neill would be officially welcomed back here. The springboard for the founding of this association were twofold. First was the very recent production of Des O'Neill's lifetime research on the O'Neills in the publication of the Ancient and Royal Family of O'Neill. And we're pleased to have 3 copies of the book here and a number of CDs. Des, as you know by now, was the father of Sean O'Neill of our association. And the second springboard was the recognition of the need to connect the 50 million people worldwide with Irish ancestry due to emigration from the 17th century. The association provides a focal point for the people with O'Neill ancestry, enabling them to foster an awareness of their genealogical, historical and cultural background. This network will in turn develop business and tourism links, something which appealed in particular to the founding members of your association, as each of us not only were keen historians, but business people. The opening of Ranfordy House and the Hill of the O'Neills here in Dungannon brings alive the O'Neill legend. And our best thanks are due to Dungannon Council for their foresight and hard work in reserving and recreating this wonderful location. I am pleased to have with me some of the founding directors of our association of the O'Neill clan, and I would like to make special mention of a number of these people. First, from Dublin, our chairman, Sean O'Neill, as I said earlier, the son of Des O'Neill, mentioned earlier, and he will speak to you after me. Second, Owen O'Neill, sitting at the very back, a professor in the School of Business in Trinity College, Dublin. And at the front here, a man you're all aware of, Brendan McAnallen, more of an O'Neill, not only because he's married to one, more of an O'Neill than any of us, due to his work over 30 years in Dungannon. James Kane, who has brought us all together and done an immense amount of work over recent months, has been the key in organising the association activities to date. Some people who are not able to be here, but are directors of our company, Christine Doherty and Rose O'Neill of Chicago. Christine Doherty of the North East. Unfortunately, they can't be with us, but their work in bringing together a large number of O'Neills in the past from all over the world has been a key motivation for us. I would also like to recommend Molly O'Neill of the new university here, Dr. Molly O'Neill. Lastly, but certainly by no means least, a person who is doing Trojan work and trying to bring the first big group of American O'Neills here in May of 2013. A person who needs no introduction to many of you. Her father and uncles were in business throughout Dungannon, the Devlin clan, the present Nuala Saul. Where are you, Nuala? Yeah, Nuala Saul. Nuala has been invaluable in organising the Great O'Neill reunion, which will take place in May 2013. Finally, I would like to acknowledge and thank the welcome and support given to us openly from our very first meetings with not only the councils of Dungannon but of Cookstown and Armagh. Finally, I will call upon Sean O'Neill to say a few words. Grow my heart.
The association, as Pat was saying, was founded in 2007. We have an organising committee here in Ireland, and I'm delighted that Malachy is joining us. We have Pat O'Neill, who's our president. We have Owen O'Neill, who's our secretary, and we've Brendan, James, Christine Doherty from Antrim, and Rose O'Neill from Chicago. Rose is based in Chicago, but she has a house in Dublin, and she visits on a regular basis. We also have a series of international members on our executive. We have Josephine Mandeville from Philadelphia in the United States, and a number of years ago she had a gathering of the O'Neills in Philadelphia, and she had over 900 O'Neills at her gathering. And those O'Neills derived from two brothers that left Tyrone in the 1840s. We also have Lawrence O'Neill from Paris in France. The O'Neills in France are very well organised, and they have a group of about 250 O'Neills and O'Neill families, and we had a gathering in Paris there a number of years ago. We have Hugo O'Neill, who's chief of the Clanboy O'Neills, and he's recognised by the Irish government as a representative on the Chief Clans organisation that in the Republic. We have Brian O'Neill in Pittsburgh as well. So our mission is, the purpose of the association is to share the culture, history and common heritage of the O'Neill clans worldwide, and to preserve our collective heritage, emphasising principles of dignity, fairness, merit and a shared love of the total environment and countryside of Ireland in which the historical branches of the O'Neills reside. But we also have another one which is looking to the future. So we're looking to the future and saying, well, how we as O'Neills can contribute to our culture and history. And we're very much forward looking. So as I said, what have we been doing? Well, over the last number of years we've been working on building a network of the diaspora, of the O'Neill diaspora around the world. We have O'Neills in the United States, France, UK, Australia, Portugal, Spain, the Caribbean. A lot of O'Neills went to the Caribbean over the years, and there's a large number of O'Neills in Puerto Rico, of all places, and Canada. We had gatherings, well, our members were involved in the Flag of the Earls in 2007, we had a gathering in 2008 in Rome, we had a gathering in 2009 in Philadelphia, and we had a gathering in Paris in 2010. So next year is the first year that the association will have its own gathering here in Tyrone. So we have our gathering next year on the 22nd to 26th of May 2013. It's the International Gathering of the O'Neill Clans. And we have the gathering, we're part of the gathering in the joint initiative between the two governments for next year. It's a four days of events taking place in Tyrone, Tullyhog, Cookstown, Dungannon, Benburb, Armagh City and Dublin. So this is the calendar of events. On the Wednesday we open with a dinner. The Thursday we have historical talks by acclaimed speakers, including Good Malachy. And we have the opportunity for networking within the groups, because we're hoping to attract some high-profile people. We have tours of related sites in Armagh, and then we have a social gathering in Benburb, in the Battle of Benburb, and the side of Shane's Castle in the Battle of Benburb, with traditional music and dance. So that should be a good night. And then on the Friday we have the visit to Tullahog and the reenactment of the crowning of Hugh O'Neill, and we have then the visit to Cookstown, and then on to Dungannon with the reception on the Hill of the O'Neill, and then entertainment in Dungannon Square. So on the Saturday we travelled to Dublin via Narrow Water, which was part of the Hugh O'Neill's history, and on to King John's Castle in Carlingford, which is also part of Hugh O'Neill's history. And then when we get to Dublin, we'll have a panoramic city tour for the tourists, and then that evening we have a gala dinner, and then we close the gathering on the Sunday. And so our tour operator is Brack Tours. We're working with Brack Tours to facilitate the international visitors, and their website is www.bracktours.com. Nuala Saul from Dungannon is our liaison person, and all ticketing is through Brack Tours. Again, congratulations to both the councils for the development of the hill, and that's the end of my presentation. So if there's any questions, one final thing. Rose sent a letter of support, so I think Owen is going to read that.
I'm very pleased to be here today and to be given the honour of reading this letter from Rose O'Neill. My grandfather, who was an O'Neill obviously, left Armagh city around the year 1900, and about 15 years ago I was able to trace 120 members of the family which he created, of whom 60 were living in the United States and 60 were still in Ireland or in Western Europe. And I don't think that that's by any means extraordinary for Irish families, that we have a lot of cousins abroad. So, if I may read this letter, dear respected members of Dungannon, Armagh and Cookstown councils, as a proud member of the O'Neill clan from Chicago, Illinois, I consider it a great honour to support the international gathering of the O'Neills on May 22nd to the 26th, 2013, and look toward the occasion with great excitement. As you may know, I have been fortunate enough to have participated in all of the gatherings to date, including those in Rome and Paris. I believe the event in Armagh, Cookstown and Dungannon, home to our great ancestors, will prove to be a culmination of the best of the gatherings of the past, filled with informative lectures, exhibits, lively conversation, and most importantly, family. As the dozens of O'Neill clan members make their way to Ireland next May, I am confident that as the host for this historical event, all of Ireland will greet the extended O'Neill clan with enthusiasm and lifelong memories. Warmest regards, Rose O'Neill. So what a nice letter to get from the United States.